long time no live stream. I need to remember to pause at the beginning of these things because it always cuts off when it's like replayed later, like cuts off the beginning. There's been a lot going on. I hope you guys see that I'm live streaming. Okay, I need to copy the link too. Hang on. Well, somebody's here. Oh, I can see myself live streaming. Okay, let's share this on Twitter, which is, hi Teresa. Twitter is now called X or something, which is really stupid. Could you come up with something more boring? All right, gonna tweet. Why can I say tweet anymore? I'm gonna X this link to everyone. I'm gonna X and I'm gonna re-X. Copy. Hi Susan. How are you? Okay, so the story behind this dress. Oh, you guys, I met Alora was it last week? Or was it 2 weeks ago? Sorry, I bumped my microphone. Is this working? Can you hear me? I have a stool below me, but it's kind of low down, but hopefully it helps. But yeah, we went out for breakfast and I was wearing this dress. Anyway, okay, come on, technology. Come on, do it. I'm about to give up. Oh, okay, it's gonna paste. Yay! Okay, I'm live right now. And an exclamation point to sound excited. Okay. So, one of my best friends, she's the best. She threw a birthday party for me this year after the horrible birthday I had the year before. And yeah, it was great because it gave me something to look forward to. So then she had her birthday, and it was also a karaoke party. And she said, "I want you to dazzle me." So I went to Walmart and I bought 3 dresses I would not normally wear. So throughout the evening I had costume changes and she was pretty tickled about it. So it was fun. But also I never have anything to wear to a luau. Not that I ever get invited to luau's, but I think if I just post pictures of myself wearing it, I might get invited to one, maybe. I would enjoy that. So, one of the dresses, I went into Andrew's room, opened the door, and first thing he says is, "Please don't ever wear that in public." Now, the karaoke party was at my friend's house, so it was fine. And Carmen was offended by the color combo. Well, also, my choir had an end of the year karaoke party too. So I can't get enough karaoke. And the theme was dress how you were, which meant dress how you did in high school. And I'm like, I wasn't fat in high school, so what am I supposed to wear? So I found a denim dress. I thought, okay, the 90s was all about denim, whatever. But then people thought that they thought that dress was cute too. So now I started wearing it, but it feels very unnatural. So what's been going on with you guys? Paul Rubens would have loved me. Aw, maybe he's watching from heaven right now, going, "Wow, I really like her in her ugly dress." So it's been crazy around here. It's been a really crazy year. Andrew left almost a week ago. It'll be a week tomorrow. We had to get up at 4 in the morning to take him to the airport, and he's going to be gone for 2 years on his mission. And right now he's at the Missionary Training Center in Provo, Utah. And then after that, he will take a long, long drive to another part of Utah that is maybe 30 to 45 minutes away. So, yep, he's going to be a missionary in Utah. And people always think, oh, you're not going to have anyone to teach there or anything. But surprisingly, there are a lot of people. And when you're a missionary in Utah, everyone says that you're treated like a celebrity. Like everywhere you go, people go, "Oh, let me buy your lunch." So I'm pretty thrilled for him, and um, he wasn't really looking for like an exotic adventure or anything like that. He actually wanted to go somewhere in the States. He didn't want somewhere super hot and humid. So, this is a dry heat and also a very dry cold. So I lived there for 2 years, and I did not want to leave my husband, who I was dating back then, but I was so miserable there. I said, I have to move home. Like, I need the humidity. So I had a case of winter itch, and then I kept getting bronchitis over and over again. So I was like itching myself to sleep no matter what I did. I mean, even like my scalp, like when I combed my hair, my scalp would welt up. It was just, it was like torture. And even when we go to visit Idaho and Utah now, like as soon as I get there, I start getting rashes. And I couldn't buy enough lotion in the world, and it's not even gonna help. Thanks so much. Thanks, Betty. Thanks, Violet. Melissa, it's good to see you. Hey, Arvid. Sorry if I missed anybody. Um, so yeah, after Eric, our second son, joined the Army at the height of COVID in July of 2020 and then was deployed, that was plenty adventure for me personally. So that was just a very stressful thing to go through. And my mom died while he was deployed, and it was very heartbreaking. And so with Andrew, he won't be very far away. His other grandparents, they live in Utah, and no, he won't get to see them. But it's comforting to know that if anything happens, he would be able to go to the funeral most likely. And yeah, sad thing to think about. Hey, Yana. But yeah, it's been a traumatizing couple years, and it's hard not to think about everything that can happen in a 2-year period. So, So he seems to be having a good time, but he's on the fourth floor and there's no elevator and it's really hot out. So he's not used to that. He'll be fine though. He's young. He'll get acclimated. So yeah, that's an adjustment, and it's been really hard on Carmen. So Carmen was crying a lot about Andrew leaving. And Sabrina's more like, "Hey, I could sleep in the bunk bed now in his room." And she like moved her bedding to the top bunk and it's cracking me up. Hey Mike. How are you doing, Mike? Okay, so how is the microphone sounding? This is my first time live streaming with the microphone. I'm not sure how much it's gonna like drain the battery on the iPad. So let me know. I can always put something to make it higher, but look, like I said before, oh, I have a podcast as long as the microphone is showing, right? So there were a couple people who couldn't hear me at all before. So, oh, someone shared or sent me a photo I was needing for some social media stuff. Yay! So, yeah, almost 1 week down, and let's see, what's 52 times 2? Andrew will be gone for 104 weeks. Did I add right? I've still been talking to Deji, so I've been away from YouTube for a while. There were a lot of happenings with Deji, the scammer I have been leading on for a long time. Okay, so I thought he got banned from Instagram, and I was pretty happy about that. Like, I don't care. But turned out he blocked me because he thought I blocked him, and I did not block him. So, well, I'll have to scroll back quite a bit. And then sometime before that, trying to remember the details. So I had posted some images of him as from my Irene account on Instagram, and I was talking about, let's see, let me just go back to this. I made my account private so that he couldn't see my Instagram posts anymore, and he was really upset about that. And then he tried to, so he temporarily blocked me to remove me as a follower, and then he requested to follow me again. And I gave him some grief about that. And I've had to make up all sorts of excuses with him as to why I'm so busy. So I started a new job. I'm an assistant to some guy named Jason, who apparently he's some sort of marketing executive, and I really don't know what people like that, do exactly, but he doesn't know. Okay, I'm almost back to where I need to be here. Okay, so I told him I won't accept his follow request because I'm working on a journey of self-improvement. And I want him to be surprised. And he says, I don't like surprises. I said, I love planning surprises. It's one of my most favorite things in the world. That's true. Joe Tim, didn't you ask me before if I can burp on command? I think we already covered this. Yes, I can. Um, so I said, I'm on a journey of self-improvement, and that's all I'm gonna say. He says, let me see your profile. Looking to see how the journey would turn out. No, I want you to be surprised. So I faked it, like I did some photoshopping to make it look like I took down the post that he was unhappy about that had his photos. And I'm going to make it public again the next time he asks me for money as a punishment. Joe Tim says, I'm saying, can you do some on prank calls? I think I have. I'm pretty sure. So even though he can't see my posts, he can see in my profile how many posts I've made. So he's like keeping track of anything new that I've done. He goes, I know it is a post. You have 4 new posts. I said, I'll be making many posts about my progress. Is there any about me? No, it's just about me, hoping I can reach my goals. So I'm trying to make it sound like I'm working on weight loss for him or something. Okay, where are you? Just scrambling to get things done. My move is the day after tomorrow. Oh, you only have essentials left, right? So I'm still packing and also working for Carol. More helpers coming tomorrow. Okay, I hope Carol isn't stressing you too much. She's being pretty chill because she knows I'm packing. Okay. So then he tried to call me and he said, what are you up to? Packing like crazy. Sorry, I don't have time to chat. Helpers are coming soon and I ran out of boxes again. Are you having a good weekend so far? Then I tried to call him a bunch of times and I said, I can't see your name anymore. Were you banned? And he didn't answer, so I didn't know what was up. And then I said, I can't be with you. Broken hearts. Then finally, he was visible again, and I said, I'll be telling our breakup story on my Instagram. He goes, I don't care. You blocked me. And then you're back now trying to gaslight me. I did not block him. Seriously. I said, no, I didn't. You blocked me. He goes, what the F? You did first. I did not. No, I didn't. I just came online and couldn't see your profile. That's weird. All I did was make my account private. This was you that day. took a screenshot. It wasn't showing stuff anymore. I said, I was trying to call you back the other day, and then suddenly your account showed as Instagram user. Please don't act like I don't know what I'm saying. You blocked me. I then asked my friend to search your username on that day, and then he saw your profile. I couldn't. I don't know what the heck is going on. So then I showed him a screenshot that showed all the times I tried to call him back. I said, look at all the times I tried to call you. He says, see what my friend showed me when he searched your name. I did not block you. I honestly don't know what happened. He says, I was surprised and hurt that it appeared like blocked me. Did you even get these messages from you or from me? He goes, that was why I blocked back. No, I didn't. All these times that, okay, their name will change to Instagram user, and I thought that meant that they were banned from Instagram. So I don't know how many scammers I actually got banned or if they just blocked me. That's really irritating. I said I wouldn't just block you in the middle of a conversation. I thought you just got sick of me. 2 more nights sleeping on an air mattress and then I move in with my friend. New job starts on Monday. He says, it happens, laugh out loud. Then he says, why would I get sick of you? Blah, blah, blah. He says, accept my follow request so I can see your post. I said, I told you I'm working on a surprise. I've been removing lots of followers. I did. I removed everyone that was an obvious scammer in case they know each other because I don't want them reporting back to him what I'm doing. So if any of you want to follow me on Instagram on my Irresistible Irene account, send me a message telling me that you're one of my YouTube followers and I'll add you. So I'm not adding any scammers right now. So when would the surprise be ready? He says. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of hard work. He laughs. So I can't see your post till then? Kind of weird. I want to explain, but it will ruin it. You'll understand in the end. Just removed another 20 or so followers. I had about 400 before. Almost 2 a.m. Gotta get some sleep. Tell me, just a hint, for my own sanity. There's no way to tell you a hint without ruining it. I can't wait till he asks me for money again. He's gonna be horrified. But yeah, I need to make some more posts about him. Share some more of his voice, maybe of our conversation that we had. Let's see, what time is it there now? It's like 2 in the morning there, so he probably wouldn't answer if I called right now. He says, I hope you are not posting my pictures. No. So then I showed him, this is the latest. I'm not posting pictures of you. So I just took a screenshot and then I covered up the photos of him with pictures of other things to make it look like I deleted the stuff he didn't like. Okay, so when are you moving? Tomorrow? Sleeping at my friend's tomorrow and then coming back Saturday to do a thorough cleaning. Also going shopping for a new wardrobe for my new job. I will be completely moved out on Saturday and then hopefully get my own place in a few months. Taking the kids swimming today. It's Carol's kids. I don't have kids. Okay. Blah, blah. The talk is just very boring with him. Oh, how much is the new work paying you? That's kind of a fun thing. Like, it's not always okay to ask people, so how much do you get paid? It's not really that polite of a question, but, he wants to know how much money he can get out of me. But I think I told him it's $30 an hour. He says $30 an hour is okay, I think, Monday to Friday. And I said, I'm taking a bubble bath. And he goes, should I come join you? No, that bathtub is way too small. Forgot about that. I'm trying to get a little more flirty with him, but, he's a young man. If you've ever seen my, 90 Day Fiance with that one couple, do you know what I'm talking about? Then he says, it's big enough, wink. I took a picture of a lake and sent it to him. Just sometimes I'm busy and maybe he'll feel satisfied that I contacted him if I just show him a picture of something I've been doing. So, trying to get to something more eventful here. I'm going to play you a recording of a scammer I talked to today. It's not our conversation, but he sent me a voice message. But I talked to him for a while today, and I yelled at him for a good while I was doing my dishes. Okay. So I'm talking about my new job. Um, oh, so I told him me and my roommate were going for a drive to Mount Rainier. But the 4th of July, we actually went as a family, and we hadn't gone there for 27 years. And that's where my husband proposed to me. And so there's different entrances to the park. And so what happened was he wasn't sure where he was going to propose to me when he was up for a visit. And 4th of July morning, my mom said, "Hey, do you guys want to go for a drive to Mount Rainier?" And he goes, "Okay." And I thought, yeah, this is going to be the day. And I made a point to like memorize where we were going. And my parents said, "Do you want to go to the Paradise entrance or Sunrise?" And I was pretty positive that it was Paradise. So we stopped at a rest stop, and there was like this low fence behind the bathrooms, and he said, "Hey, let's go see what's over there." So we climbed over the fence, and there was like this beautiful lookout. It's like this rocky sort of cliff area, and just the perfect day. So then we came back to the car and told my parents we're engaged. But we didn't get a photo of the actual spot where he proposed. And like, I just regretted it all those years. Like, I should have said, "Mom, Dad, let's, go climb over the fence with us so we can show you where it happened just now." So we got a photo just like close to the car. And then, the 4th of July after that was all about fireworks, and especially after we had kids, it was, fireworks shopping and the 4th of July breakfast at the church. And every year I thought, I wish we could go back to that spot at Mount Rainier. And it was always something. It was like, oh, the cost of getting into the park. And then, it's like $30 to get in. And then I found out that veterans get free passes, like to any national park. So I felt pretty dumb about that. And then before we left, we were having this conversation about how you get the pass, and there were like certain stores or something to get it from. And he didn't think any of the places were open. I'm like, "Look, we're just going to go up there." And he thought we were going to have to pay $30. And I was like, "I don't care. Like, this is my dream." And I did not drive up all, once we got there, I didn't drive all this way to not find the spot. And so we got up to the booth, and I told the park ranger, "Hey, we're looking for the spot where my husband proposed to me 27 years ago today." And he's about to hand her the card to pay $30. And I said, "And he's a veteran, but we didn't know how to get a pass." And she goes, "Oh, I can give you one right here." So yeah, it worked out great. We drove around for a long time. Long story. But we recreated the moment. Like, I didn't even have to like ask him. He just got down on one knee again, and Carmen took some photos of us, and it was so nice. And it was also just a really great thing to do as a family before Andrew left. So, sorry for the tangent. Melissa says, "I can fit in your tub. I'm a tiny pixie of a man." Teresa, yes, that's what I'm talking about. So, Anyway, I told Deji, oh, I'm going on a road trip with my roommate. I always have to have some reason why I'm not available to chat with him all the livelong day. And he tends to stay up until like the middle of the night. Um, so I um, shared some photos with him. Oh, and then it sounded like, hi, Ducky. It sounded like he got sick for reals. Like I thought he was going to ask for money or he was going to send a photo of himself looking pathetic, but he said, my joints are weak, my mouth is bitter, and I have just been sleeping. Um, I think, oh, he had a fever. Um, I said, were you throwing up? I hope you feel better soon. No, I wasn't. I even had to go for classes today. Lost my earbuds and money also. This week might not be my week. I said, I'm so sorry. He goes, it's fine. How's work going? I miss talking to you. I thought he was going to ask for money again, but he didn't. I said, it's good so far. I just got off and heading home. I wish our schedules weren't opposite. Are you doing better? Okay. He said, gonna head to the hospital if I don't feel better by the end of the day. He still didn't ask for money. Um, Later, oh, he said he missed solid food, and then he sent me a picture of some drugs that he took. I'm like, what is that for? And he said, malaria. So he says, I went home yesterday, didn't want to stress my flatmates. I don't even, so he says he's in school, and he talks about going home back and forth. I don't know how far away his school is away from home. He doesn't talk about his parents or who he lives with or anything. Um, he said he hadn't been to the hospital in years. So, yeah, I forget that sometimes that malaria is a thing. Yeah, I think he actually may have had malaria because, he didn't ask me for money. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to the exciting parts if there are any. Talking about my new boss. So talking about how my boss is really nice, blah blah, just to keep him a little, oh, like is there a romance starting? Hi Beth. He said he missed solid food just because he was sick and he couldn't eat any. Oh, these are IKEA shelves behind me, and I actually figured out how to make labels before my printer broke. We've been without a working printer for months, and that's gotten really irritating. So, um, Ducky says, my 86-year-old mom can't eat solid food, so I'm imagining him decrepit. Hi, April. Yeah, IKEA's not super close, but it's close enough. Yeah, the last time I went was with my sister, and there were signs on everything that said out of stock, so it was kind of ridiculous. Then I told him I was going on a business trip with Jason. We were going down to Cannon Beach to work on some videos and stuff, and part of my job was to like make sure the crew got fed, blah blah blah. I'm just like making up all this stuff about my supposed job. He's just so boring to talk to. So at one point he says, text me when you're free, I guess. He sounds very down. Hi, Desert Goat. So I was talking about the promo, just making up a load of crap left and right. The other day we had a conversation about if he was ever going to come visit me here. Oh, been watching Lori Daybell stuff. Sorry, I haven't been around. I haven't gone live for, I think, over a month, so that's fine. Barbie, you went to Cannon Beach. I love it there. I want to go again. The last time, so I went with friends. They rented a place and we went to Manzanita, which is like south of Cannon Beach. But we, took a drive up there for the day. If I had more time, I would have invested in the Daybell thing. It just sounds really upsetting with there being children involved. Okay, so then while I was on my business trip, my fake business trip, we ended up staying longer because we didn't get all the shots that we needed and the weather didn't cooperate. And then on the way home, I got sick because Jason, my boss, dared me to eat oysters. And then, then I came home to a flood in the apartment that I was staying in with my friend. The water heater was spraying, and my friend was gone, and then I had to go stay at my boss's house just to make him feel insecure. He makes comments sometimes that my life sounds like a soap opera. So that, got me busy. He said, okay, we've had this joke going on. I don't remember if I told you about it or not, but there was this meme that talked about this guy who was texting someone and he says, hey, and he said he was using a slutty amount of Y's. And Deji will do that, hey. And so I called him on using a slutty amount of Y's. So he says, hey, no, I wasn't out partying. I couldn't even move well yesterday. The exam stress is getting to me. I said, wish I could be there. So I'm trying to be, slightly more romantic. He goes, what would you be doing? Wink. Or she was a side eye. I sent him this. I can't say something like, oh, I'd be over there massaging you. I can't bring myself to do it. It's one thing when a scammer is lying, saying that they're a man in their 50s or something like that, and you pretend like you really believe them. But when a guy tells you he's 23, no, my son is 23. This is too disturbing. And then I talked about how I was apartment shopping, looking for a place in Bellevue, talked about the apartment prices, blah, blah, and the rules. Like, there's some places that say you have to make 2.5 times the rent or 3 times the rent. And there are plenty of people who don't ever fit the criteria. So I said, and they want to see at least, X amount of months of job history to see if you have stability. So I just got a new job, so I have to show that I've been there for a few months before they'll accept my application. This conversation's so boring. I'm skipping a ton of stuff. Oh, we talked about the places that I visited, and he's never left Nigeria, and he says it's very expensive to do so. And then he talked about an exam that he has, and I said, "Oh, hope you'll do well." And he said, "Hope so. I didn't get the handouts." So I thought he was sick and missed the handouts. I said, "Were they handed out when you were sick?" And he goes, "No, I couldn't buy them." I said, "They make you pay for classes and the handouts aren't included?" Things are pretty different over there, I guess. Then we talked about if I would ever go to Nigeria to see him, but I said, the idea of traveling alone is really scary to me. So he says that he'll come visit me, but I'm not going to do the thing where I trick someone into traveling and they end up stranded. That would be a little bit too mean. Let's see. Yesterday I said, "Hey, how are you doing? Is your exam this morning?" So I'll send him pictures of what I ate for dinner sometimes, and then he's like asking what all the food is, and it's like surprising all the things that he's never heard of or he's never tried before. Like he's never had beef. So I think he's telling the truth about that. He's never had mashed potatoes. So I told him how to make them, and he says maybe he'll try. Oh gosh, I got to show you this. So this is on Instagram. Okay. I want you to understand. So look at this guy. Someone's impersonating this guy, and they're doing a voiceover. Do you understand? Take care of yourself over there. Wish to see you again, and we should talk to you when I get to the state. How does anyone fall for that? I would also meet doing today. I missed you so much. And I want you to understand something. The most I've seen them do it with photos before. They take a guy's photo on TikTok and go, "Hey, my name is so and so," and it was like I think a soldier or something, but like doing a voiceover over a video, and the mouth movements don't match at all. Oh my gosh. So I actually shared that with him and said, "About to pee myself. This is so unbelievably stupid." He didn't have anything to say about it, so maybe he's done that himself. Who knows? So he says, "Hi, Indy." "Wow, okay, I'll try that when I have the time. How are you doing?" And this is the last thing I said to him. I said, "Doing okay. I feel so tired all the time. I don't know if it's my age or what." So catching up on comments here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my regular account. And this guy's profile. So sometimes Nigerian scammers will copy and paste some quotes from somewhere, and then it ends up being too many characters, and it just cuts off. So this guy is so lazy. His bio says, "A soulmate is someone who you carry with you forever. It's the one person who knew you and accepted you and believed in you before anyone else did." So, yeah, and so it gets cut off, and he's just like, "Yeah, that's fine." So he leaves his bio like that, so that's one clue. And at the top it says his name is Dave Giovanni 11, but then underneath his profile it says Og Oghena Kevwe. And this is a dead giveaway. Like romance scammers who have all of this lovey-dovey stuff instead of like actual photos of stuff. I I guess that's something that reels in some women, but it makes it really obvious. So what I did is I took a screenshot of it. Hey guys, happy Sunday. And I posted it on my profile right in front of his face. And I wrote, "Dear quote, Dave, I noticed you followed me. You suck at scamming, and I know you're from Nigeria. You and your friends have saturated social media with your stupidity. You managed to afford a smartphone, so use it to apply for jobs. Looking forward to your offended private messages. Ha 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 ha." And very predictably, hey guys, yes, he messaged me. He said, "Hello, dear. Why did you post my profile? Hi, D. For fun. I'm sorry, but I don't like it, please. Why are you scamming? I don't understand. Are you trying to call me names? No. If you have been scammed before, is that why you think everybody is a scammer?" They all say this. "You must have been scammed before." Predictable. But that's what you are doing now. Never been scammed. No, I named your actions. So why are you telling me this? Or are you a scammer? So they think either you have been scammed or you are a scammer. So how is that supposed to be my business? Look, stop all this game, okay? You are a scammer, I know. I sent him a bunch of voicemails or voice messages, and then he tried to call me a bunch of times. And I picked up and he didn't say anything. Then he says, "Can you call?" So I called, and I yelled at him while I was doing the dishes, and he said, "What proof do I have that he's a scammer?" I'm like, "I don't have to come up with any proof." I'm like, I know you are one. And this is the message he sent me afterwards, and then he tried to call again.
Do you know one thing American women don't understand? In our country here, our government are very bad. Our governor, president, all those, they are bad. They don't care about the citizen. They use all the money for themselves and for their children. Take the children to a big school in the United States or Canada, but the other citizen, they don't care about them. We don't even know what they are doing in the country. We don't have job, we don't have nothing. If you can even see a little job, you can't even work in that company. So that's why you see most of those scammers today, they are from Nigeria or other country. We know America still have scammers, but I must say that Nigeria is their job.
I couldn't understand most of that. But at the end, he's basically saying, in Nigeria, scamming is our job. Like, that's not a job. So, I know that their currency collapsed there, and things are bad, but it's not true that there are no jobs there. So, the thing is, why would they think it's gonna help to pretend to be someone they're not? Like, why don't you guys just say, "Hey, I'm from Nigeria and I need help. Is there a way that someone can give us work from afar?" But then, like, Deji will tell me that people won't even hire like overseas if you're from Nigeria. So I don't know, but yeah, and this guy I talked to today, I said, look, you guys have like, you've ruined your country's reputation. Like all of you scammers, you have ruined, like you've shamed your country. And he made some comment about American women not wanting to talk to black men. And I said, it has nothing to do with black or white. It has to do with honest or dishonest. I'm like, I don't care what color anyone is. In fact, there was a Nigerian scammer I was talking to for a while, and I said, look, this is this is not how you're going to get out of this situation. And I said, if you really want to come to the States, this is what you have to do. And I gave him some advice and said you have to be really realistic about what kind of job you can get here and how much it's going to pay. You have to know how much it is to actually live here because the cost of living is much higher than you would think. So he said that he's a baker, and I said, yeah, if you move here, like being a baker is not a high paying job at all. So you got to be really careful about where you end up. Like you don't want to like move somewhere like the Seattle area and think that you're going to be able to survive. And I hadn't checked in with him for a while, and then he sent me a message saying, are you not talking to me because I'm back? And I was confused, and I go, back from where? And he goes, no, because I'm black. Like, what? I spent so much time talking to him, and then he pulls that. And so I just blocked him immediately. So I actually gave him the time of day and told him, I'm sorry about the situation you guys are in your country. And I know there's a lot of poverty. But yeah, that was very lame. I don't think they quite comprehend just how much we're being bombarded with messages from scammers. Thanks, April. So, I mean, I've met all sorts of people who've come here from Africa, so there is a way to get here. In fact, we hired some caregivers for my mom for the middle of the night when she was on home hospice, and like the sweetest ladies. I'm trying to remember if they were from, I don't think it was Kenya. Like I don't remember, but they were so sweet with my mom. My sister-in-law got up in the middle of the night and found this lady sitting at my mom's bedside, holding her hands, and she was kissing her hand to comfort her. Like that meant so much. And so the most of the time that she was on hospice, she was trying to get out of bed, and then she kept trying to pull on things that needed to stay where they were. So it was absolutely exhausting. And my uncle actually paid for nighttime caregivers. We still had to wake up in the middle of the night to give her medication because some of them weren't trained yet to give medication. And they said, okay, well, we can do some like light cleaning and stuff. And we said, no, the only thing we want you to do is to hold her hands and make sure she doesn't hurt herself. That's all. But that was the rules. They're supposed to clean. We're like, no, like, please don't. And then finally, towards the end, when she was settling down, we had a caregiver come, and things were quiet that night. And so she got to study because she was going to school to be a nurse. And yeah, that I just thought that was so awesome. So I'm very much for people coming to our country who truly want to, and make an honest living. And of course, not everyone can come over here. That would not be realistic. But I also obviously don't know how to make things better for them in their country. But I've told these scammers, I'm like, when you lie to people and you steal money from them, you are always getting it from like the most vulnerable. You are getting it from people who are mentally ill, people who have dementia. Like you are harming people, and it just, it's not okay. Oh, Cole says, yeah, they're coming to America through being caregivers. It's a program. I have some clients that have Nigerian care workers. Yeah, I think that's really awesome. They did such a great job taking care of my mom. Like I'm so grateful for that. It's like it was like between my dad and me and my two siblings for the most part, and with it being like over a week, there was no way we could handle doing everything round the clock. I'm sorry to hear that, April. Yeah, I'm just really grateful we were able to bring my mom home because initially, it's a long story, but hospice was coming to do intake in 4 days. Like mom finally agreed that she was going to go on hospice. So all we had to do was keep her safe for 4 days. But she finally had a fall where she couldn't walk. So, and this was President's Day weekend. And they said if this weren't a holiday weekend, we could get a social worker in here and we could have gotten hospice set up at your house tonight. So she had to be there 3 nights until a social worker could come in. And then the doctor said she's not a candidate to go home now because she's not eating or drinking. And I thought, okay, but don't all dying people eventually stop eating or drinking? Like I still don't understand that. And the company that we used, they don't do IVs. So we still had to come up with all these tricky ways to get the medicine in her. Like the morphine's liquid, that's pretty easy, but she still needed to take her prednisone, and they don't have that in liquid form, and so we had to like crush it and like mix it with things like applesauce, and like no matter what you did, it was still nasty. Like I think my sister tasted it at one point and was like, oh man, poor mom that we're giving this to her. But yeah. I am still, dealing with the aftermath of all of that. But what happened was my aunt came to stay with her overnight at the hospital, and I came in the morning, and my mom had started eating and drinking again. And then the doctor said, oh, okay, she can come home. And I swear my mom, heard them say that, oh, you can't go home. And she went, oh, yeah, well, watch this. I'm going to start eating and drinking again. And when we got to the house, finally got her home again, she ate a Cheeto. And yeah, I won't tell you the long story about the lasagna, but I kept thinking, well, maybe I'll give her a little of the lasagna I made. But yeah, that never happened. But yeah, 3 of my aunts stayed at the hospital, and they were amazing. Like it was like such a hard thing to go through, but like my family like was so strong together, and it, hi Kay, and we gave my mom the best passing possible. She loved her home so much. Like she was a homebody for the most part, and yeah, I just wanted to. I was like desperate to give her what she wanted, and then with like the COVID restrictions, they were only allowed 4 visitors a day, and it was supposed to be like one at a time. And I was like, we're not going to draw straws to see who gets to be with mom when she dies, you know? And so, yeah, she had been like, my dad was trying so hard to protect her. And so she was locked down, for 2 years, I guess. So once we got her home, he said, have everyone come visit. And no, they don't have to wear masks. So she got to see everyone's smiling faces again. My uncle came and sang to her, and she was like so happy to see him. So it's been, yeah, a very emotional time still. Like it's been over a year, and like of course I don't feel like myself. I'm still processing a lot. What is this, Teresa? Customer who commented on our post. So, okay, you're talking about the like a business page and scammers commenting. Yeah, that happens on my Facebook page too. And it's just funny because I'm like, do you not see that I'm making videos about scammers? Thanks, April. Yeah, I partially got started on making a second channel where I can just talk to death about all the stuff that I'm still processing. I'm having such a hard time getting my act together. I got some free grief therapy from hospice for a while, but it's like three sessions, and then there were some like Zoom support groups. There was like a meditation one, and that was kind of funny because on one hand I felt like, oh, you hippies, but it actually did help. I'm trying to remember the phrases that the teacher said, and my husband could overhear it, and I was like, what is going on? And it was just like another over Zoom, you don't know who's looking at who. You can't truly make eye contact with anyone. You can't, like, I don't know how to word it, but like it would have been nice to give these people hugs. Like everyone had very like different situations, but there was one lady who lost her parents like a month apart from each other, and she's an only child, and I think her parents were hoarders too, and so she was like dealing with all of that by herself. So, but yeah, I would like to find an in-person support group. That'd be great. But yeah, at the time, I'm like, this is just like rubbing salt in the wound that I can't even go to an in-person support group. And like a large part of my grief was how COVID the restrictions just made everything more hellish. So, Kay says my mom didn't die; she ran away from me. That's what my grandma did to my mom. Yeah, she's been missing for over 50 years. Hi, Ellen. And I always wonder, like, how much differently would I feel if it weren't for all the COVID stuff? Like, would I be handling this better? But Like, one of the worst parts was that there was this constant fear that if mom fell, we weren't ever going to see her again, because for months the hospital wasn't allowing any visitors, period. Which is, when it comes to the elderly, like, that's disgraceful, because you would never have a child go in without a parent. And when the elderly can't advocate for themselves, there's no excuse for not giving them someone that will be guaranteed to be with them. And so when mom would end up in the ER, and she had a lung disease, so she always had shortness of breath. They said, "Well, you can't come back until we've tested her for COVID." And which is silly. Like, they didn't want to test me for COVID before I came in. They wanted to make sure she didn't have it. I'm like, "Okay, but I've been with her all day." So it's like, are you afraid I'm going to get COVID from her? Because I've already been exposed. So by the time I finally got back there, hours later, mom is shaking because she has had to pee for a long time, and they're understaffed. No one has caught on to the fact that she can't get out of the bed by herself and go to the bathroom. It made me so angry. And so I asked the nurse, can we have a bedside commode in here? And she goes, "Oh, she needs that." And the thing is, I don't fault them for being understaffed, but I do fault them for not letting someone in with her, because she wasn't even with it enough to use her call button. She didn't even, I mean, my mom didn't know how to use her inhaler anymore. She didn't understand, like, okay, you're supposed to blow out all your air, like, exhale completely, and then you're going to put this in your mouth, and then you're going to puff it and inhale. And she would, like, end up sucking on the thing, so she couldn't do, like, her airway clearance anymore. But she couldn't have an advocate with her. And so then the hospital put up a social media post one day that said 0 visitors allowed. And mom, she'd had, like, multiple falls. Like, there was a day both my parents hit the floor because my dad was trying to stop her from falling. And so, like, all day long, every day, like, if I wasn't over there, I know that mom is getting up any moment, and she's going to fall. Like, she already had a broken wrist. Like, yeah, I'd, like, become a basket case because I knew that my mom was going to have a bad fall. So when she finally did have a bad fall, it was like 4 a.m, I think. And if it weren't COVID time, my dad would have just called an ambulance. And he would have called us, and we would have said, "Okay, we'll meet you down there." But that just, wasn't an option. All that he could think was, if I call the ambulance, they're going to take her away, and we're never going to see her again. And the morning she fell, so he didn't tell me until 8 o'clock in the morning. So I went over there, and we're both trying to figure out what to do, which is just, like, feels so ridiculous, because it would have been a no-brainer if it weren't for the COVID restrictions. Just, okay, ambulance, we'll all go be together. It would have been horribly disappointing if she had to pass in the hospital, but at least, we would have all gotten to be with her if it weren't for COVID. The fact that I went over there, and I know what we're both thinking, which is, we want the family to be able to come say goodbye. But, had to make the decision for an ambulance to come. And then when I got to the hospital, I thought, I'm going to have to do battle with someone to let me in. And when I got there, they had just changed the policy that said one visitor allowed. And that was just amazing. So, like the day before, she had a breathing crisis, and the paramedics came, and they confirmed with me that there were no visitors allowed at the hospital. And I was like just bawling my head off and just said, that is just so wrong. They totally agreed with me, but it's not up to the paramedics. And I know there's like countless stories like this. I know countless people have gone through this or something similar. And like there should be a law, just like with children, that the elderly or other vulnerable people should be able to have a loved one with them. Like, this has just been like the hardest thing to get past. And like, I was at the dentist yesterday and I was so embarrassed. Like, I was having a good day and I talked to my aunt on the way there. And I got to the waiting room and this man wheeled in his mom, his elderly mom, and they both had masks on, and it brought me back to like dragging my mom to her doctor appointments when she was having a hard time breathing already, and then she had to wear a mask, and it just was like torture to her. Like when she was in the hospital, she was told she had to wear a mask. And so when this guy got in there with his mom yesterday, he said that her ride from this thing called Hope Link didn't show up. It's like something that's associated with Medicare. And he says, yeah, they're called Hope Link because you put in a request and then you hope they show up. And he looked so exhausted. I'm like, I know exactly how this guy feels. And then this other guy chimed in like all the things that happened with his parents as far as like systems failing them. And so I didn't even realize I had been waiting for my appointment for half an hour, and the person who checked me in forgot to tell the hygienist that I was there. So I'm just sitting there just feeling terrible for this man and his mom, who probably did not feel up to going to the dentist at all. And by the time they call me back, finally, I'm in tears. And the hygienist says, I hope you're not crying because of me. I said, no, I'm having a grief moment. There was a trigger. You just never know what the trigger is going to be. There was a thing that I sang at with my choir, and like I was in this place where I could choose not to think about things, like, okay, I'm gonna push away any thoughts that are upsetting. But then this lady got up and gave a talk and talked about how music helped this person who was on hospice. And she talked about like their breathing changing, and she said the hospice nurse got sick and couldn't show up with this man's medication. And I was like, I was so close to having like a full-blown panic attack up there. I think I did I grip onto the person next to me? Like, I don't even know. But I was just, like, I felt like I had the wind knocked out of me. I was not expecting anyone to get up and talk about a hospice experience, and like the thought of hospice not showing up to take care of my mom. Oh my gosh. Whew. Yeah, I need therapy. Oh man. Barbie says, just my opinion, but COVID restrictions were outrageous. It was different from state to state. Never again. Yeah, exactly. Like ours was one of the more strict, but you go over one state, things are completely different. My mother-in-law was hospitalized the same time as my mom, and all the grandkids were able to go see her because she lived in Utah. Was COVID much different there? No. So, Yeah, I I hope we never go through anything like this again. April says mom passed my grandparents' home that they built where dad and I still are and where my grandmother passed just before COVID. I'm grateful for that. Sorry you had to deal with that. Blessings. Thank you. You know, I know that my situation's not unique and, almost everyone loses their parents. Um, I just, I never imagined a scenario where either of my parents would be dying and there'd be a pandemic and we would, hey Tim, um, where we would lose, um, Christmases and Thanksgiving and just all the other special things. So there was this whole, if you have a gathering, you're selfish and you're killing grandma. I'm like, well, in our case, grandma is dying and it's gonna, be her last Christmas. So what do you do? Like it made the end of her life miserable because she had nothing to look forward to. Um, but thank you, Melissa. Yes. I do need more grief therapy. Like, I just feel like I'm not going to be consistent with like anything in my life until I'm done processing this garbage. At the same time, I'm like, I don't know what could make me feel better about how the way things were. But, I am getting out and having fun, but there's just still some really hard moments. And I did recover at the dentist yesterday. I managed to, not cry the entire time. Oh, Tim, I'm sorry that you know how I'm feeling. It's hard. Melissa says, in my state, you couldn't go to church, but you could go to a restaurant if they had plexiglass and plastic sheets hung up. Yeah, so liquor stores stayed open, but you couldn't go to church, right? Because liquor is essential. Okay. That was great. What didn't make any sense too is they shortened store hours so that people were all like condensed in the store. Like I'd never seen the store so crowded before. So like how is this helping? Like this is so stupid. Or okay, we're gonna decide which stores have to close. Like we're keep all the stores open and then people aren't condensed in one store. Or why does the donut shop get to stay open, but the ice cream shop has to close? It's ridiculous. Like, I think everyone is probably still processing just like trauma from the whole lockdown experience, unless they were in a state that went, we're just going to act like nothing's happening. But, yeah. How are you guys all doing? Sorry to go into this grief tangent. This is why I'm going to make a second channel. I swear I'm going to. Tim, you lost your mom 5 years ago. Yeah, it's hard. Well, Barbie says, or why wear a mask on an airplane but take it off to drink something? Because that will stop COVID from spreading if you are drinking a soda. Yeah, exactly. This is silliness. Well, I have to go make dinner. Sorry to be a downer, you guys. Um, but I'm hoping to make some actual high quality videos soon. It's been like so busy here. Carmen has like 4 camps this summer, so she has to get ready for another one, and she has like a pack check on Friday to make sure. So she's actually going on a backpacking thing, so they make sure the kids have everything that they need. So thanks so much for coming and chatting with me and for listening. And I hope you guys are doing well, and hopefully I can go live again soon and I'll be a lot more fun. Maybe I'll even wear a pretty dress. Okay, good night everyone.